Wake Up Dead Man is the next film in the Knives Out movie series, which started in 2019 with the film Knives Out, a traditionally released theater film, which then pivoted to being these Netflix original movies after Rian Johnson secured himself a really nice deal with Netflix. A lot of people really like a good whodunit film, and these Knives Out movies always have a very awesome cast. So with that in mind, should you check out Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery on Netflix? Let's discuss. Daniel Craig is back as Beignet Blanc, and this time he is joined by a fresh new cast that includes Josh O'Connor, Glenn Close, Josh Brolin, Jeremy Renner, Mila Kunis, Kerry Washington, Andrew Scott, Thomas Hayden Church, Kaylee Sweeney, and Jeffrey Wright, and I for sure left out a whole bunch of people because this is a stacked cast. This time around, the eccentric detective is here to investigate the mysterious death of Monsignor Wicks, who is probably the grumpiest and most petty person you'll ever see leading a church sermon. Josh Brolin does seem to be enjoying playing these grumpy characters because this is yet again another grouchy character. I kind of found him to be pretty grouchy in the movie Weapons, although he did have a pretty good reason for being grouchy. In this movie, I don't know what his exact reason is, but he is a grouchy asshole. And another grouchy asshole in this movie is Glenn Close, but she does play a very good grouchy asshole. In this film, she is playing the right-hand assistant to the Monsignor, and her character, while masquerading as a woman of the cloth, is yet another person in this film showing the extremes that some people can get to when they go hardcore into religion. This woman seems like she is walking on eggshells or just so high-strung. And it's not just this lady. This Monsignor guy has a whole slew of extremely dedicated followers who are hanging on his every word, even though this guy is clearly acting on emotions and bringing his own personal biases into these sermons. I know that Rian Johnson was not probably trying to start a debate about religion with this film, but we do get a moment from Beignet Blanc where he criticizes a lot of what religion has come to stand for, and personally, I found it to be pretty spot on. The homophobia, the misogyny, the manipulation, the hypocritical nature. There's a lot about religion that can be seen as being very, very controversial. I thought it was a really powerful monologue, and I really do hope it gets people thinking about religion in a bigger picture, looking at some of the things that are working and some of the things that aren't, because if you look at the nation's history, the world's history, clearly there's some things that just aren't working. It's led to a lot of violence out there. But sticking with Beignet Blanc, you can tell that Daniel Craig is having a lot of fun playing this eccentric character who may very well end up becoming the character that he is known for during the later parts of his life. He was known for Bond earlier in his career. Maybe he's going to be known as this character from now on, because this character is really very fun. He's smart. He doesn't come off as a cookie cutter detective. He's a man willing to make mistakes, and he understands the human mind and the desperation that people can get into, the dark things that they're willing to do when they reach that breaking point. And maybe that's because he's a man who has reached a breaking point at some point in his life himself. I really love this character, and I'm all for Rian Johnson continuing to make more of these films so long as Daniel Craig is down for it. I don't want any reports coming out about Daniel Craig feeling forced into these roles, but if Daniel Craig is down for continuing to play this character, which he probably might be because this is not nearly as physical as a role as James Bond was, well then I would be there to watch it. And part of what makes these films so memorable and fun to watch is that we as the audience are getting pulled along on this wild ride. We are trying to figure out the mystery at the same time as Beignet Blanc. We don't have quite the insight, but it's fun trying to figure it out. And I'm gonna call people out right now because I think, yes, some people probably could have figured out who is the killer in this movie and the previous movie and then the first movie. These movies, I think you can figure out the killer, but one thing you're not gonna figure out very easily, and if you do say you figured it out, I'm gonna be highly skeptical, is the method of it all, the why of it all. These movies, the motivations, the whole backstory behind the murder, it's always kind of complicated, like overly complicated, something that I think your average person is not going to figure out. And if you say that you did, you better have said that you figured it out before the movie ended, before the big reveal. I know we all know somebody who, when the movie ends, says, I knew it was that guy, but wow, they are silent during the movie, right? They don't have any opinions until it's done. For me, this feels like a worthy sequel, and I have to say really quick, I did really like Josh O'Connor in this film. I like this guy. He's a phenomenal actor. I'm so glad to see that he's getting way more attention than he used to. The first time I saw him was as Prince Charles in The Crown. I thought he was phenomenal in that series. I thought he was really awesome in Challengers. His career is continuing to grow, and I'm loving that because he definitely deserves it. Rian Johnson has brought us yet again another thrilling whodunit adventure, and while it is honestly a tad on the long side, it is filled with exciting moments, fun mysteries, and some iconic performances that are very much going to have you smiling. Just the fact that Jeremy Renner was able to be in this movie and not be dead is an absolute fucking miracle, and I'm so glad to see him doing a role like this. Maybe he'll do more roles like this that are not so action heavy intensive, because he went through an ordeal that is mostly unsurvivable. It's a mystery and a miracle that he's here, and I'm glad that he was in this film. Just a lot of people in this film, the whole cast, just excellent cast. It's a tad convoluted, and I do think that the previous movies were having that problem too. Sometimes the mystery gets so big, so complicated, so many layers that you start thinking, I don't know what the fuck is going on here. And that part is still very much in this film, but the cast and the directing and the acting, and it's just a really fun experience, and for sure worth watching at home, since it is on Netflix for you to watch in the comfort of your own home. For me, this movie is an 8.5 out of 10. That's my thoughts on it. What did you guys think of it? Put your thoughts on this movie in the comments. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit that like button, please, to let me know that you liked it. And if you want to hear more things from me, I think you know what to do. You're supposed to subscribe to this channel. Later.